Good morning. This is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts, and we're back to make some faux leather using shoe polish and paint and a lot of playtime. So I'll try and not make this too long, but I do need to give you things that you might need. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is shoe polish. In mine, I have used this Red Mousse cream shoe polish in burgundy and in black. I've also used a black liquid shoe polish, just you use the most, along with this. This is the brown. Now in the brown, I have added a little bit of acrylic black paint. So, in the brown only. The reason I did that was because it adds a little kind of almost a grayish tone in there somewhere that you kind of start picking up. I might need to add more to it, I don't know. I was able to, like Leigh and Eve over at Bohemian Crafting, you can pull this little tip off. It's attached to a piece of plastic here, and you can pull that off and put in some paint. So let me get a rag to wipe off my inky fingers, or shoe polish fingers. Oh, they're so shiny. So I use those on the burgundy. I didn't want to mix this with the burgundy cream paste, so I would squirt an ample amount of that on here, and but not more than it actually would need. And then I took the burgundy shoe polish and I painted it all in, and then I used this to kind of mix it around. Excuse me a minute. Sorry about that. So that's some things you need for doing the leather part. The other thing I used was black regular shoe polish to kind of gloss this up a little bit and make it look more like leather. Now I want to add some more brownish spots to this one to make it look old. Like you found it, I don't know, in the bottom of a box in a house that was built in the 1800s. So that's what I would like it to look like. What else? Okay. So what we'll do to begin with is I'm going to use matte gel, and we are going to, let me get some stuff out of the way. We're going to put this down and we're going to cover it with a craft colored, this is like pattern paper, or it's a heavier weight tissue paper. So that works really well if you want to get that kind of a crinkly effect in it. This works good. What else? You can do them without and do embossing, which is what I did on this little pouch one we made, our book one we made yesterday, so that you get some beautiful embossing on it. Oh, I love this. So I would like to do another one of those. But we'll do what we have time for today. This kind of shoe polish takes a little bit of time. There's drying time between things, and so you kind of have, you know, you have to do some drying. Now what I'm using on mine is this ledger paper, and I was able to take it out of the book like this by cutting the threads, and I cut it down the middle. This is for the one we're making. Okay, back up just a little bit. I cut it down the middle, and then I cut this in half, and I had two pieces here and two over here. And it made this piece, which is 13.5 inches long. It made this long piece, and it's 4 inches wide. So that is the size that I used. Cut a little bigger one for this. I think it's 4.5, 4.25. So you can make them different sizes. Now today I want to make a larger one, an envelope that I can put in the mail. So I'm going to cut this in half. So I have 2 pieces. And then I'm going to mark off of a 1/2 inch on this paper here. Right there, I marked off a 1/2 inch and drew a line. You can see my line right there. So that I could put on here this second piece of paper so it would stay even. So when I fold this up, there we go. Now on this one end, I folded over, what was it, 3/4 inch, I think? Oh, 1 inch. I folded over 1 inch just to make the opening of my envelope thicker and stronger. So you can see that 1 inch there. And I glued that down. And then instead of folding it right on the line, or had I done this at 1 inch instead of 1/2, I could have folded it so this would be right in the middle. But what I did was I went down from the here by 1 inch, and then I folded it. So I have a full inch here. Doesn't matter if it's on the back, we're going to cover it. So this will be like a mailing envelope that would measure 8 1/4 by 11 3/4 inches long. Now I don't know how it'll go. I wanted to try it because Eva, I think her name is, over at Bohemian Crafting, made one, and then she put a sticky label on it, and it just looks so cool. And I thought, how fun would that be to send somebody in Happy Mail? So let me put that aside, and the first thing we're going to do is decide if we want burgundy or the black and brown. I think because I need to practice the black and brown a little bit more, I think I'll go with that. Or with brown. I'm going to go with the brownish. So I do think that I'll get out some brown paint. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is cover this. So I'm going to completely open it up. And we're just going to start covering it with tissue paper. Now if you want to get this darker faster, you could paint this background a brown. You could use ink or paint, whatever you like. I'm just going to wrinkle up my paper. And I'm just going to start pasting that on. So you can see now where the drying time will be coming in, because this will have to dry, and then we're going to do the other side. Now I'm going to try and speed things up a little bit just to make it, I'm not going to speed the film up. I'm no good at that, because then you have to do a lot of editing. I don't want to edit. But in other words, when I say speed things up, I'm talking about just speed things up. Let me think. I have to backtrack. When I say speed things up, I mean that I'm not going to wait for drying time on stuff as long as I should. Okay, so here we go. Let's put this down. It's okay if it goes over the edge, because if it goes over the edge, don't flatten this. Just pat it down. And if you get a lot of glue on your paper, just keep erasing it. This is going to wrinkle. It wrinkles, the paper wrinkles really good. This old ledger paper. I want the wrinkles in the top part here. Put that over there. I need to switch this around so I'm not getting the wrinkles of the wrinkles. Not wrinkles, the crumbs out of the paint. If it goes over, it's okay, because like I said, we can fold it under, or we can just clip it away. Easy peasy. You can see how nice and wrinkly it is. It's just so fun. Now, I did way more than one layer on mine. I think I did 3 and 4 layers, which means some places had 3 and some had 4. So it was really, it's just so much fun, you guys. I think I'm addicted now to this process. Get out a new piece of paper. I'm going to tear it. I'm going to tear it again. I'm going to wrinkle. I'm going to open. I'm going to wrinkle some more. If it tears, I'll just rip it there and apply a piece. This is just my base layer right now. And so I don't really want to get it too unwrinkled. Just my base layer means I'm going to be putting lots of layers on top like this, which will create even more wrinkles. The nice thing about using the craft colored cardstock is when you sand it down, you don't have all the white showing. Instead, you end up with some really nice craft color showing, which actually adds to the look of the leather. So anyway, just a lesson, just one of the few things I learned about it. And if you don't see that it's wrinkly enough, just add some more. Very easy to do, and it's just kind of fun. And where there's nice straight lines like that, I'll come back through and put another piece on there to get rid of that straight line. Okay, I'm going to finish up this layer and then I'll come right back. Okay, I wanted to come back and just make a comment here. You can see how this side over here is quite a bit darker. It has, some places have 3 layers and some have 2. And you can see that this one has lots of light spots still. It only has 1 coat of tissue paper. So I'm going through and making random pieces here. I'm not straightening the wrinkles out of it, but I am trying to get the edges a little clearer. So I'm just going to go ahead, and this is still wet, so I'm going to just put this down, and I'm just going to put this over the top. A little collaging as we go. We love to collage, don't we? Or I do. I hope you do too, because it's so much fun. And so any place you see a light spot, this is a good time to just cover it up and give it that extra bit of heft that leather has. So it works really well. This worked really well for me. Crinkling up some more. Now I know one edge of this is torn, but it tore really straight, didn't it? It does tear really straight. It has a little resistance tearing the other direction. I'm just going to paste this one down on that side and put that even sort of edge off the edge. As it dries, there are going to be light and dark spots, but you want that. You don't want it to be a solid color. Now, when you get done with this layer, if you want, you could put book page in there if you want the words to show through. That would look really nice too. I haven't tried that, but I would like to. But I'm not experimenting today as much as I did the other day. Oh, it was so much fun. I just can't tell you. Okay, I am going to now let this dry. I'm going to pull this string out of it because it doesn't belong in there right now. Although it would probably look good in there. Who knows? We might have to try stringing too. See what it does with old threads and stuff in there. I wonder what that would look like. That might be cool. Okay, I'm going to let you go. I will be back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I have flipped this over. It's still wet, but I'm putting it on this kind of a waxy paper, so it's not going to stick to that, I don't think. Crossing my fingers, I hope it doesn't. And we're going to put on our cheesecloth. Hang on, I gotta get my paintbrush. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to use this once again to put down my cheesecloth. I could use glue, but this is a little more flexible and bendable, so I think I'll use the matte gel medium. And just going to do like before. We'll do a half at a time, I think. I'm not sure how this cheesecloth is, but I've cut it the length, but now I want to put one layer on, and then I'll probably put a second layer on. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly do the rest of the sheet because this has little holes in it. So I'm just going to put it over. And I'll probably get my hands a little gluey. It's okay. I don't mind that. And since it's the inside of the object, I want it to have be pretty flat in there. If it gets some wrinkling, that's probably just fine. Okay. And now I'm going to go over it again with the collage medium. Now this part's a little bit more work because you're trying to get that matte gel down in between the layers, in between this fine mesh. Not a fine mess, but a fine mesh. To glue the whole thing down really well. I'm going to flip that over and see where my problem is. Oh, it did peel some of it off. That's okay. It's right here. I think it'll be okay. I'll have to peel that away more carefully, won't I? If it makes a big bubble, what I'll do is come back in and slice that, and then I'll go back over it with gel medium. A little messy, but it is helping. It comes pretty wide, and hopefully I can just kind of flop it over there. And find something for my hands first. And then the other thing is I'll be stitching around this, so it will be stitched down anyway. Okay, so now what I want to do is go ahead and flip this back over so we know it's not sticking to our wax paper. And if we left any bad spots, we will pick those up. I'm going to flip these over so they're not putting any more glue on the back of this than we need. Okay, so we had a little piece pick up there. I see what it did. Okay, so stick my hands in the glue. And this will just give the leather a little more interesting look. And that's what that is too, is another bend in the paper. Now, normally you wouldn't have to do this, but I tried to speed things up. And because I did, I created a problem in my wet object. But we'll make these little things look like pieces of leather in there. It should be fine on the bends because it's got a bend there anyway. So it's just, now it's got a pre-bend. And we'll see what we can do next. Okay. Alright, I think I got my hand unglued so I can turn off the camera now. Okay, be right back. And I have a few minutes here to come in and start applying some shoe polish to this. Let's see, I did put the backing on it, as you know, and we let it dry. I clipped all the way around the edges, and these wrinkles that are here are where it bends. So I'm going to not worry about that, and hopefully it will kind of blend in and create some more wanted textures into the envelope. So I brought my shoe polish with a little bit of black acrylic paint in it, and this is liquid brown. So I'm going to be using that. And I have a couple of brushes here that I might use to help scooch that around a bit if I need to. And I have put my glass mat over here to my right, and if I need to, I will put some brown paint on it, you know, get some different colors in here, or we might just squirt it on here. Let's see what happens. I don't know what will happen. Ooh. So, we're just going to go for it. It says not to squeeze it, but I'm going to. It takes 3 or 4 coats to get this really coated good. So you do have to kind of let it dry between coats. It looks like it just really wants to foam up right now. I think that's just par for the course for this brown one. The black didn't foam up like this one does. This is a little bit messy, but I do have to say that the ink does come off. It's a little sticky when you begin. That backing that I put on it, that really helps a lot with this thing not moving, the envelope not moving around. Squeezing out some more of the polish, because I think it works better when you can kind of move it around a little bit. I like how the brown paper behind it really lends a lot to getting the color right. I think that has helped quite a bit. Stand that up down there so it doesn't get everything else shoe polishy. It dries fairly quickly. It will have spots where it just kind of looks like it doesn't coat. Oops, I just got it on my shirt. I tell you, I don't have a shirt in the house that doesn't have something on it. I don't know what will happen if I do this. I'm just wondering if it'll take the lines out. It's still quite wet, so it kind of works like glue a little bit. So I'm going to add in just a little bit of burnt umber. I'm going to put some out on my glass mat over here. So I think I want to spray this a little bit just to keep it a little moist and to make it go farther and more transparent. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just putting it on there and moving it around. It's weird how the one end is very dark and this one is very light, and they have the same amount of paper on them. But maybe what happened was it spread the black ink. Maybe it was, or the black paint was more to the surface than it originally was. But we can fix that a little bit. This one's the black. Oh goodness, there it went. That is not what I wanted. I guess maybe that's a good reason not to squish it. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can take some of it off. I have this cloth. I want to just try a little bit of this. This is the cream shoe polish in the black. I couldn't get it in the brown. Darn it. That was disappointing that it didn't come in. They said they just couldn't deliver it, although it's the same company. So I don't know. Very pretty. Okay. Well, we are going to let that one dry for, I don't know, half an hour or so, and then we're going to come back in and put some more brown on it, and we'll see how it goes. This one was the black that I just used, just to kind of, I want it to have several areas of color because I want it to look faded. We might have to put a little more brown paint with the brown shoe polish. I love this dark color that it came up with up here. That turned out really super good. So you can see it looks kind of like leather. So, okay, let's let that dry and I will get back to you in about a half an hour. Okay, so this is what it looks like now that it's dry. And I buffed it just slightly. I don't want to over buff it because I want to add some more brown shoe polish to it. I want to give it another layer. So here's the brown shoe polish, and look, it all came off my hands real easy. I think I'm going to start on this side because this side is quite dark. I'm still going to need to go over it. This won't really dye the paper. To get it darker, I'm going to have to add a little bit of the black or a little bit of paint. Oh, not that much, Ange. Sorry. I'm going to have to pick it up like that. Here we go. Get this in there before it dries. And I'm just going to use stuff that's here to kind of work it in with that paint. Now, I don't really know if I should be going in circles like this, or it should be in a little longer strokes. I don't want it to have things that go across, so maybe I need to do some little tiny circles. And then maybe those kind of buff out. We'll find out, huh? Really, I'm totally new to faux leather. Flip it around, and I'm going to just dip my sponge into that and start moving it around again. I notice that this one really foams up a lot as it gets going around and around here. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's really quite relaxing adding all this. Okay. Guess we'll let that one dry now. And I think the next thing we do will be to sand it. So when we come back, we'll do some sanding and get that sanding all figured out and then re-polish it, and then we'll see if we can, buff out all those, any lines and stuff going through it. Although the lines are starting to disappear, the more layers it gets. So it's very dark on this end and very light on that end. So I might have to come back in and use a little lighter tan in here or something. But I don't know. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe it will be okay. Boy, I sure want the whole thing to look like this. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So, probably could just about buff it out right now. Let's see. It is a little wet from using the water and the paint. Oops. Just stuck the end of it just into the paint. Oh yeah, look at that. Isn't that lovely? I guess we're still here. See, oh, I didn't stick it in there too bad. Oh, look at that. Isn't that awesome? Here's the other end. It's very dark. Let's see. Let's just see if we can buff any of it out. I think not. I think it's just going to be really dark on this side. I'm going to try just a little bit of water because I have that paint on there. Yeah, see, it starts pulling some of that up. And I kind of like, oh yeah, look at that. Now it's looking old, isn't it? So now we'll go back over it with the shoe polish in just the brown. We won't overdo it. Oh yeah, look at that. Doesn't that look nice? I'm still here. We will go ahead and add some of the brown shoe polish to it. Let me get this paint up. I don't want to stick the whole thing into a bunch of wet paint. Okay, So there we go. I don't know if you can see that back there, but that's what we're going for. To give it back its luster and shine after taking it out with the... Very cool. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I don't think it's going to need any more coats. Look at that. So we'll let that dry just a little bit, and then we will go ahead and buff on that one. Okay. Have a new buffing t-shirt here. Let's see if we can shine it up. It might be rubbing too hard. These are not army boots. Might not be dry enough. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to let it dry a little bit. Yeah, going to have to let it dry just a little bit. Okay, that end is definitely done down there. We just got to get this one dry enough that we can buff it out. Okay, well, let's let it dry. And then tomorrow when you come back, I will probably have this sewn into an envelope shape so we can see what we want to do to it next. Or perhaps we'll make decisions tomorrow about what we want to do. Do we want it to be an envelope, or do we want it to be a journal? Can't change our mind now, can we? We said an envelope. We're going to make one to get it, you know, to that nice old leather look. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Well, I think it was ready to be buffed. And buffing it is just a matter of going over it with some gentle... Oh boy, that feels good. It feels just like leather. And honestly, I don't know if I do want to go over this part with a little bit of these bumps with sanding block. I don't know what I do with my sanding block now. You can see it takes the... Yeah, that looks good. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Very nice. All nice and worn. And oh boy, look at that. Isn't that awesome? Wow, wow, wow. Wowie kazowie. Just buff it out. And all we'll need to do is sew it together. And we will have a beautiful, big envelope. I don't think I'm going to apply the label to this like the Bohemian Crafter did. I think I'm just going to sew it, and then we'll put a tie or something on it. What I need is some old leather snaps. Isn't that beautiful? What do you think? Even with the wrinkles in it, it looks really great. It just gives it even more character. So, I guess that's about it. But I will come back tomorrow and we'll sew this. It'll be sewn. But we'll need to figure out what else we want to do, if there's anything else we want to do. And if we want to cover the inside, this is when we would do it. But I really don't think we need to. I think the only thing it needs along here is to be buffed with ink. Okay, well thank you for joining me, and I will get back to you. It'll seem like just a second to you, but it's going to actually be tomorrow. So I'll see you later. Bye.